All right, guys. Thank you for joining me tonight. Appreciate it as always. All right. So listen, I hope that the whole end of the world thing was a little fun. I guess we can't be serious and talk about serious shit all the time. It just gets annoying and fucking played out after a while. But yes, you saw how many of those dates were like outrageous. Anyway, Dan Phillips, man, thank you for the 5x5. Dobie, Akol, Patrice, Evolving Medium, Flown Grown, Joe, Eyeswy, Rhonda, Prep to Adapt, Let's Go. Don, thank you for the 5x5. Raccoon Eyes, Michelle, Water Tiger, Base, Highlander, Renee, thank you for the 5x5. Raven, Maria, Wallace, thank you for the 5x5. Andy, thank you for the 5x5. Dan, for the doggies, thank you for the 5x5. Prep to Adapt, Maria Jackson, Raccoon Eyes, thank you for the 5x5 on Rumble. Appreciate it as always. Mitch B, thank you for the loud and clear. Yvonne, thank you for the 5x5. For the doggy, you asked why was time speeding up, right? Was that you? Yes. Why is time speeding up? My theory with time speeding up is we might be by a black hole, right? So I don't think the black hole is big enough to swallow us, but I think we're definitely by a black hole. Kathy, Lexi, thank you for the 5x5. Right, so there's theories, right, that the closer we are to a black hole, I think the faster time goes on this planet, right? And then in space, like the further away you are, time slows down. So it's a theory. It could be that, right? It could be anything. I mean, there's so many theories out there. There's some really dumb ones, like the Matrix one, and there's some, and the Matrix one, it's sort of, you can sort of see why people think that. I give that a little bit of wiggle room, but I'm not gonna live by it. Lori, thank you for the 5x5. Brian, thank you for the 5x5. And yeah, so again, there's a lot of theories out there. Flown Grown, black holes would slow down time for us in space. On the planet, it would speed it up because of the gravity, if that makes sense. It's the opposite of what you think, right? So if you're in space, time is fucking, and you're by the black hole, time is extremely slow. But gravity pull from the black hole affects the gravity on this planet, which slows down time or speeds up time for us. So for every minute we're here, 7 year passes by in space, right? So that would speed it up for us, slow it down for them. Or maybe it's vice versa. Sorry. Maybe it's vice versa. Maybe I got that wrong. Reverse that. But anyway, there is two theories. Sorry, that black holes can speed up time or slow down time. They don't know. They don't know for sure. So, again, too many theories about space, too many theories about black holes, too many theories about time and how it's relevant or not relevant. And apparently time is relevant to us because we die. We have an expiration date, all of us, right? Whether that's a car accident or old age, there's an expiration date on all of us. So time is relevant to how we move on this planet because, you have your youth, you have your childhood, you have your youth, then you have your middle years, and then you have your old age years. And we have to abide by some kind of timetable, If we never got old, then time would be fucking irrelevant. But that's not the case. Because every fucking morning, my knees let me know how old I am. Right? I get out of bed, I click, click. I'm like, oh shit, I'm 48, If we didn't have these injuries and this old people shit, we'd be okay. But we do. Because time, or our body, keeps letting us know how time's affecting us. Time slowed down when Biden was president. Time slow shit. What's funny? We're already in September. It seems like the older we get, or maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's the older we get, the faster we're approaching our gravesite. I don't know, man. Because, that's fucking, it seems like when we were kids, it took forever to get to adulthood. Then we got to our younger years and time was mediocre. But now we're old and we're all circling the drain, if you will, and it's just every year speeds by. I blink and my father would have passed away, and next month he'd been dead for 3 years now. 3 years. Just like that. My nephew passed away 7 years ago. It seems like he died yesterday. You know? So it's just, and when you use people's, I hate to say it, when you use people's passing as a time frame, it seems like we're speeding in time, man. You know? It's just crazy. There's Thanksgiving cards in the store today. It's bizarre how, like I said, you use somebody's passing, you're just like, holy shit, that person passed away how long ago, you know? It's just crazy. You know what's funny? Right now, in the chat section, or on the chat section, there's a commercial that just popped up over the chat section. I've never seen anything like this before. Holy shit, that's fucking bizarre. All right, get out of here. It just popped up on its own. Art Bell called it the quickening. Well, quickening to our debts? I mean, I don't know. Betty, that's good. 65, no meds. It's funny, right? Because I'm 48, and I'm like one of the few guys in the firehouse that are at my age and have no medications, that I'm not on any medications. I asked a couple guys, they're on all kinds of shit. I'm like, why don't you just stop? Well, my doctor suggested. I'm like, well, maybe you should stop because your doctor's wrong. You shouldn't be 48 years old, 45 years old, 40 years old on any kind of medication. You should be correcting your diet, fasting, exercising more to correct your problems. You shouldn't be on any kind of medication. But there is a problem, guys, when you're my age and you're on medication. You shouldn't be entering the medication world until you're like late 60s. If you are working out, eating healthy, and doing the right thing, unless you have some chronic or genetic disorder, you shouldn't, you shouldn't be, what you call it? You should be on any medication. Yeah, Stacy. Occasionally, I take an Advil, man. Then, exactly. I'm like, oh, my head's killing me. Before I do Advils, I'll do salt and water, and if that doesn't work, and the salt and water takes like an hour or two to go for the headache to go away. So I drink the salt water, and then if my headache doesn't go away, I go right to the Advil. But I give it a couple minutes or an hour before I take anything. Yeah, but a lot of my situations has been corrected because of diet and fasting. Brian, sorry to hear about the genetic heart failure. That's different, though. That's an entirely different ballgame, And the problem is, we were talking about it today in the firehouse. People confuse genetic disorders with the way you were raised, right? So the way you're raised and you have medical issues, that's because of your diet. And that's because your parents died, and your parents died, your grandparents, right? Their diet dictates how you are going to turn out medically and how your health is going to turn out. So you'll turn around and go, oh, I have a chronic condition of fat. No, you do not have a chronic condition or genetic condition of fat. That's your family upbringing on its shitty diet. And if you break that trend, you look better, you work out, you look better, you're not going to have the fucking genetic fatness. I heard someone say that once. I wanted to throw my fist through the fucking computer. I was like, genetic what? There's no such thing. No such thing as being genetically fat. It's just not, that's an impossibility. I am genetically fat because you're genetically fat because your fat ass parents were fat ass pigs who fucking had fat ass diets. That's why. It's not fucking genetics. You can't be genetically fat, It's fucking bizarre when people say shit like that. I'm like, oh, I'm big boned. No, you're not. You're not big boned at all. You're just a fat slug that moves slower than the slug is why you got more fat building on your body. Listen, man, when I hit 279 and I was laying in the bed and I saw my stomach, I was like, what in the fuck is going on here? I had to lose the weight, man. I was like, yo, so I can't process, and again, I hit my heaviest and I was like, oh man, I don't want to be a fat fuck. Cause I didn't, when you're a certain age and you're fat, if you fall on the floor at the fattening age of 48, you're going to fucking break something or you're going to break something you land on. Preferably, you're going to break a kid or some shit if you fall on a kid, right? I don't want to fucking kill anybody, fall on them, or any of my equipment. So I decided to lose weight, right? And then I told you guys the one factor that should be a motivator to losing weight is the fact that you can't see your dick anymore. If you look down and you go, "Oh no, I can't see it," you're in trouble, right? If you gotta fucking use a mirror or your fucking your partner, your wife or your husband to look at your vagina or your penis, that's bad, right? So you gotta start losing weight, man. You can't look down and go, "Oh my god, I can't see my dick anymore." That's bad news, man. Mom said so. Yeah, the big bone shit is it's crazy, man. But yeah, people always like the whole fucking the whole genetic shit. Oh, it's my family's fat. Like when you look when I see a fat kid, I look right at the parent. Boom, and there you go. Fatosity, right? The fatosity is because the parent is living the fat lifestyle of the fatness, and then it transfers over to the kid, and the kid becomes fat, and then the kid starts playing video games, has a phone and an iPad, so then he becomes fucking, little fat chunky meatball because the fucking parents are lazy sacks of shit. Now there's a kid in this building. Every time I look at this kid, I look at the mother, and every time I make eye contact with the mother because I go out of my way to. I don't go out of my way to make eye contact, but when we make eye contact, I go ugh. I look at her in disgust, and not because she's fat, because the little fucking kid's a white meatball rolling around the fucking ground and shit. The kid doesn't run. The kid's rolling around, and every time I look in the fucking kid's hands, it's got some fucking meat snack and shit, and the kid's fucking eating. I'm like, the fuck is going on here? Why are you letting this fat ass fucking fat kid be fat? It's simple fatology. Yes, Cobalt. That's exactly what it is. Yo, I can't understand this shit. Like, this kid is fat, and then the baby is a chunky fuck. She just had a baby. And I saw the baby for the first time today out of the carriage, and I'm like, look at this. She's holding a fat meatball now. She's got a one that's rolling, and she's got one she's carrying. And the mother is fucking, she's cute, but she's fat. Because she's a fucking, this whole meatball. And the father, he's like this. And I look at the dad like, you're not going to correct this fucking problem? Oh, my God. If they're like, oh, God, if they fell down the stairs, there'd be 3 fucking white meatballs. Ding, 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 down the stairs. It's fucking insane, man. And I don't understand why parents don't look at their kids. Yeah, Swedish meatballs. Nice one, Brian. I don't understand why people don't look at their kids and go, oh, my God, my kids are fat. I got to do something about it. And to do something about fat kids, you got to start working out. You have to start fucking transitioning over to, all right, my kids are fat, and they're being called fat kids, and they're being picked on, and they're calling them chunk and all kinds of shit. I'm like, you don't want that for your kid, Yeah, listen, I love big girls too. I really do. But there's a sexy big girl, and then there's just a fucking blob, right? And again, even at my age, a lot of the big girls I know, I tell them, yo, you got to drop weight. It was cute when you were younger. It was fun when you were younger, but not anymore, because the heavier you are and the older you get, you start running into medical problems, So, and that's the gist of it. I'm 48. I'm like, I'm just going to be a fat fuck, but I can't. I couldn't. Again, looking in the mirror, I'm like, am I growing breasts? No, like I don't want titties. And so I started doing push-ups, right? I was like, I want to be able to, and again, I was always able to see down below, but before I couldn't see anything. Because the problem is, guys, your belly starts growing out, it starts looking like an eclipse, right? And your penis is like, where's the sun going? Because the sun's disappearing because your fucking stomach is hanging over your dick, and then you can't see that anymore, I pledged to buy 50, Very good, Lexi. But, yeah, man, it's it's bizarre, man. You don't want to eclipse your penis. You just don't, You don't want moobs or man boobs. You don't want the fucking your penis to start wondering where the sun's going, or your vagina for that matter, You don't want your stomach to surpass your breast, because that's disgusting, right? Your little titties are sitting here, and fucking your belly is. If your tits are sitting on top of your belly, you got a problem. You got a problem. Mastermind, that's not necessarily true. I found that to be false. I find that big girls take care of themselves a lot better than skinnier chicks, and that's in my world. When I was like fucking philandering out there, big girls were always the best smelling girls out there. because they took care of themselves. Because they didn't want to be because you listen, if you're going to be fat, you can't be fat and smelly. You just can't. You can't have both of them, man, you know? You got to be fat or smelly. You can't be both. You shouldn't be smelly either, but you really can't be both, man. You know? You don't want to be a fatopotamus. You know? A fatopotamus smells. That's bad news, dude. You don't want that shit. You know? And again, the other thing is, too, is like, and when you're fat and you fall, everything fucking seems like it's going to break, and the fat jiggles for hours when you get up off the ground because your fucking fat's just vibrating so hard from the fall. Yo, don't do it. Lose the weight. That's what I'm saying. I said all of that to say lose the fucking weight. Yeah, man. Fuck that. You know, and again, so now I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, oh shit, my stomach is almost fucking flat. Like, it's a lot flatter than it was 6 months ago, but it's almost flat. I'm looking to get, by next summer, like a 6-pack. And just be like, wash your fucking clothes, my abs kind of shit. And that's it. After I achieve that, done. Then I just keep a flat stomach. But that's the goal, to get a 6-pack. You gotta go total bullshit. But yeah, it's fucking... And don't get me wrong. I am starving right now. I'm hungry. I want a fucking cheeseburger like you wouldn't believe. But the thing is, when I start thinking about certain... Like, you watch certain fat people out there, you're like... Or fat kids, you're like, yeah, I don't want that. I'm done. Yo, Granite State Man, you should try something else other than testosterone replacement therapy. You really should. I wouldn't, TRT, I would, if I was you, I would square my diet away. I would fast for 72 hours or longer and reset my body, and then start eating testosterone building foods before taking testosterone replacement, TRT. I would stay away from TRT. TRT at 45 is bad. Now, at the age of 65, 70, if I'm still in decent shape, would I take TRT? Yes, because I'm at the last leg of my life. But as a 45-year-old, you should not be taking TRT. The pharmaceutical company wants you to stay dependent on them all the way around. So the fact that they want you to stay dependent on them all the way around, including TRT, guys, stay the fuck away from it. You should try switching your diet around. Switching your diet around, fasting, that is the route you want to take. Give that a year, man. Just 1 year. If you want to email me, by all means, I could put you on a regimen and give it a year and see where you are. Do your test, see where your numbers are, and then start this process, and then in 3 to 6 months, test your numbers again to see if it's gone up. If it doesn't go up, then start TRT. The other problem with TRT, or not TRT, the reason why is your sleep. Sleep is a great indicator or destroyer of testosterone. Lack of sleep, is a great destroyer of testosterone. Great. And the other thing is, I just found out a study that was just released. Green tea is going to boost your testosterone. What do you think I'm going to have before I go to sleep? The caffeinated green tea, right? That boosts your testosterone as well. So I would try all of that before looking at TRT. Absolutely. A lot of people are like, yeah, but TRT this and your numbers only budge a little bit. I'm like, who told you your numbers only budge a little bit? A doctor? Same doctor that wants you to take the TRT because the money that he gets from prescribing that shit to you goes right into his pocket? Come on, man. You know? So they need, again, it's all bullshit. It's all a ruse. Anyway, man, what the fuck were we supposed to talk about tonight? You know what? We're going to talk about that some other night. I'll change the title to this to Fat People Rant or some shit. I don't know. But, yeah, because I'm going to go off the air in a couple minutes. I got to do a video and then edit and then go to sleep, wake up, and do this shit all over again. Right? Because I got to release videos for tomorrow. And I got a midweek report to do tomorrow morning as well. But, you know what? Let's just touch on it. The gist of it, guys, is the Chinese have unveiled a mosquito-sized drone built for secret military missions. Here's the problem with the mosquito-sized drone. Now, let me show you guys what it looks like real quick, because I know if I go back into the chat, I'm gonna get fucking stuck. This is what the mosquito-sized drone looks like. This is how small it is. This thing actually fucking flies. Now, it doesn't look like a mosquito, but yes, it is the size of a mosquito. That's the problem. So maybe at first glance, it doesn't look like a mosquito, but the longer it's buzzing around you, you'll see it. Now, this thing is not supposed to get close to you. This is supposed to stay at a distance. So yes, it would look like a mosquito buzzing around, but it's recording shit and sending videos back. Now, why I say this is bad? This is bad because the United States has something similar to this. And being that our freedoms, guys, are disappearing as we speak, every new president that comes into office is chipping away at our freedoms. Trump is doing it. Biden did it. Obama, Bush, Clinton, they all chipped away at our freedoms, and they will continue to do so till it's gone. And we sit here and we're thinking, oh, the Chinese got this. They're going to spy on us. No, the Americans government is going to use that to spy on us. No, Hudson Valley, these are not the injection versions. No. And to be honest with you, even if it was, there has to be a considerable amount of fluid for that to affect you. RJ, nice going, man. At 72 years old, 6'3", he's weighed 245. He lost 200 pounds in 2 years. That's impressive, man. That's very impressive. Especially not breaking your balls, especially at that age. That's impressive. But anyway, guys, that kind of technology is going to be used against us. And they're going to sit there and say it's for our freedom. I mean, it's for our protection. It's not. Now, there was a video I was watching, and they were looking. Shit, what was it? ChatGPT scans every user's wording. So every time you use ChatGPT, it scans your whatever you're doing to make sure you're not being nefarious. And ChatGPT is invading our privacy, but here's the catch. ChatGPT is a public tool. It's a private company, but a public tool. They can do what they want. We do not have privacy when we're using these apps. People have to understand that. So I know that when I use ChatGPT that they're looking through my phone. I don't have anything to fucking hide. And not that I don't have anything to hide. I'm using their service, so I know that I'm allowing them to look through my shit. And I know that I'm allowing them to scan. If you do not want ChatGPT to look through your shit, don't put it on your phone. Now, I am taking it off my iPad. I am leaving it on my phone. Or maybe I should reverse that. Leave it on my iPad, take it off my phone. Excuse me. But nonetheless, guys, ChatGPT is scanning everything you do. Everything. And so because they said they caught people in the act trying to commit a crime, because I think people like morons sat there and gave ChatGPT, how do I commit a crime? And ChatGPT scanned it and sent it directly to the police department, the local police department of that place it got pinged. So keep that in mind, guys. It can do that. Now, why don't you why don't you ChatGPT? ChatGPT just stole Grok's codes? No shit. Is that true? That's interesting. And again, I'm not using it much, especially after I heard that. I'm like, oh shit, man, I'm gonna have to give that up too. Anything AI-ish, guys, it's on your phone. It's gonna scan your shit. So you got to be willing to deal with that. I could put ChatGPT on my dead phone and only use the internet. That's what I'm probably going to wind up doing. I'm going to load it up to the dead phone and use it from there. So now it doesn't have access to anything. But anyway, that's the problem we're running into right now with this technology, guys. Technology is taking our freedom away every step of the way. ChatGPT is taking your privacy away. These microscopic or mosquito-sized drones are going to be surveillance drones for the American people. It's not going to be for our protection. It's going to be to watch us. When they shove us into the C40 cities or 15-minute cities, what do you think they're going to release as surveillance tools? Oh, they might not have cameras up, but they're going to have these fucking mosquitoes floating around. So yes, this is definitely going to... Now, if ChatGPT is scanning their own app, it's fine. As long as they're not scanning your phone. That's where the problem becomes. And that's where the privacy issue is going to become. But if they're scanning their own app, once it gets into their domain, they could do what they want. But if they're scanning your phone, that's where the problem becomes a problem. If that made any sense. Anyway, that being said, guys, I am going to go off the air now. I am a little tired. Been tired the last couple of weeks. I guess it's just, whatever. But other than that, thank you for joining me. I have my midweek report tomorrow morning, and then my doubleheader Thursday. I think I'm on for Thursday. Let me double check. If not Thursday, Friday. Yes, I'm on this Thursday for a doubleheader. So other than that, guys, I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Some of you guys tomorrow morning. I'll see the rest of you guys Thursday for the doubleheader. Other than that, guys, thank you for watching. Appreciate it as always. And yeah, man. See you guys later.